Let's start. Jairo.
What's up, man? How you doing? Good pleasure to be here. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Wynn, for having me here today.
It's a pleasure that you are here with us. Thank you for trying to explore human experiences with us. Tell us a little bit about how you started this journey.
Yeah, all started, mom and dad are Colombian. So I born in the 1980s in Astoria, Queens. Then I grew up in Corona, Queens, product of the Board of Education. So I went to middle school, junior, and high school in Queens. And then I went to undergrad at Berkeley College, private school in New York, New Jersey. My original plan, and you guys, if you've read the book, you know that I wanted to be a wrestler. Actually, college wasn't even in the plans, but an injury, whatever, didn't work out. I saw like the realness of the side of the business. A lot of people think it's glitz and glamour and R.I.P. Hulk Hogan, right, recently. But there's a lot more to that, right? Taking bums and traveling the road and all that. And I saw that. I was like, and I saw how much they made, and it's like the NCAA, right? The top 1% only make it to the WWF or E. So you know what? It's not for me. So I wound up just pursuing the MBA. Eventually, once I got the MBA, I wanted to be a financial analyst, which I interviewed a little bit. I did it a little bit, didn't work out again. So found myself again, and I worked in higher ed. And I worked in higher ed probably the longest for about 13, 14 years. I've worked at a school, my undergrad Berkeley for a long time. And then I wanted to get my doctorate. So once I got my doctorate, I was like, my original plan was to teach full time, and that's it, right? But I got the entrepreneurship bug in 2018. So I started teaching or doing workshops on the side, and eventually registered the business in 2019. And 2019 was an interesting year, because January I registered Borja Consulting Group. March, I got the chief academic officer gave me the stamp that I'm officially a doctor. May, I resigned from my job. In August, I walked down the aisle at National Harbor. And by the way, I wrote the book, my first book, Networking Way to Success, the summer of that year. So that was a very interesting first year. So that's the journey there. Of course, 2020 was COVID, and I got hit hard. No, thank God I never got it. I don't think I got it, but definitely hurt me from a financial standpoint. Where, look, I was doing well, and then the world stopped. They don't know how to hire. I had no idea. Like I literally just jumped into it without any mentorship, no guidance, right? And eventually figured it out in 21. Where shout out to Carlos and the Chamber. They were my first major client, and the rest is history after that. To backtrack a little bit, I also wanted to do some real estate as well, which is what Dealmaker is about a little bit mostly. So I purchased my primary property 2014. 2016, I wanted to buy a duplex or a triplex in Allentown. As you know, in the world of real estate, you usually have the primary. You may have like a secondary home, but anything past that, the underwriter says it's too much debt to have, right? And I had too much debt because of my primary residence, and I had student loans, right? So unfortunately, that didn't work out. But if I knew now, what I knew then, I probably would have just raised the money. I probably would have closed it. So that kind of went dormant for a little bit. And then my partner at the time said, hey, why don't we buy a multifamily? So I was okay. So I don't just dive into stuff, right? Now I'm learning from my experience. I need to learn about it, right? So I joined one mastermind in May of 23, RPM, Raising Private Money. Amy Majuri runs it. Shout out to her and her husband Sean McNichols. So I learned the basics of real estate, but she doesn't do multifamily, right? So in late 23, early 24, I looked into Rod Keefe. I looked into Brad Summerk. I looked into Vina Jetty, and Vina Jetty, she's been on my show, by the way. Oh, sweet girl. But I wanted to go on with Mike Ely. So Mike Ely is a big deal maker mastermind, and thanks to him, eventually I purchased part owner of a 52 unit in Southern Pines, North Carolina. But that was a little challenging. 2024 was a very interesting year because late 23, I was gonna buy something in Memphis, didn't work out. And for some reason it didn't work out. And then the issue, Madeira Beach, which I share in the book, I talk about it, which it's very simple. We were gonna purchase a 6 unit, in Madeira Beach. We were going to use it as Airbnb. That was going to be like our cash flow property, right? Especially during high season, that could have been, we could have made 10 to 15K a month, and we could have split it. We would have been good, right? So long story short, we went through the due diligence period. Unfortunately, we went past it. And then we were supposed to close, I'll never forget, May 31st, right? I actually flew to Florida and everything. For some reason, my partner at the time didn't have the funds to close the deal. I'm supposed to be the ops, he didn't have the funds to close the deal. So I'm stalling, thinking, hey man, you gotta figure this out, because I already been there, done that. And I already put the EMD, or earnest money deposit, as they say. So long story short, we didn't get to close. They gave us some time. I spoke to the seller, he was upset, obviously. I wanted to do some additional due diligence, and I wound up walking away from the deal anyway. I was like, whatever. So unfortunately, I lost most of the EMD. I lost 16 grand out of the 20 grand. Yep. So I got 4 grand back. The attorney wanted to get paid, and the seller was being a jerk and got 10 grand out of that, right? So
deposit charge.
Yep. So I was at a crossroads. I was like, okay, do I just give up, or do I just double down, right? That's exactly what I did. So I went back to Mike, back to the mastermind, and then so what I wound up doing was helping raise capital for that deal in Southern Pines. So I helped raise, part of the deal was helping raise $4 million, or close to $4 million between the two properties. I'll get to that in a minute. And I wound up helping raise for that deal in Southern Pines, and in exchange I got equity into that deal. So I went from 0 to 52 literally in a couple of months, and then a month later I happened to run into some money, that I refied on my home and all that. I said, what do I'm not going to keep it at a bank. so what I did was I pumped some of that money into another deal that we were raising capital for in Hickory, North Carolina. So, I put my own money, my own capital into that deal, and I got someone to invest as well into that deal. So I literally went from 0 to 100 in a matter of a few months.
So that experience, because in your book you mentioned 2 important things. It's not only about the raising the money, the funds, but you talk about networking. So can you tell the audience how important it is to network if you want to raise capital?
Oh, when it comes to raising capital, it's huge, right? Because let's face it, like your friends and family, you could only go so far, right? In order for you to expand and really connect with high net worth individuals, you got to level up your networking game, right? Whether it's joining networking groups, whether it's joining different masterminds, right? Whether it's attending different conferences, that's the only way you're going to be able to raise that capital, right? So the reason why I was successful in raising those 2 deals was because of that. Because I have a very deep network, my ties with the chamber, of course, here in New Jersey, my ties, of course, with the other masterminds as well. So, so that's how I was able to raise money for those deals. And the way we did it was, we did a lot of meetups, we did a lot of webinars, and we did a lot of investor dinners as well, where, we showed them the process of what a syndication is. We showed them the value in regards to, investing passively in real estate. So what are the pros and cons? And after that, people were very excited and ready to jump in. So as an example, we did a dinner last July, and based off that dinner, 1 or 2 people invested in the deal in Southern Pines. So there you go. About adding value, right? It's all about, and it's always about mindset as well. It's not about, hey, you're not borrowing from people; they're investing in your deal. so you have to shift your perspective.
Exactly. They gotta understand that they're part of a negotiation.
Right. Exactly. And people make that mistake and say, "Hey, I'm not asking you for money. You're investing. I'm giving you the opportunity to invest in this fantastic deal."
Help us continue to embrace these human experiences and explore more about ourselves and others by just subscribing. If you like our content, definitely comment, share it. But also, if you want to be part of our podcast, all you have to do is leave a comment and tell us what you want to talk about. Remember, this is the platform for the people, and we're here to explore those life experiences that are very unique to you and to everyone else. Don't forget to subscribe.